So, my dear Virgo, this is your reading for the month of Aries. The sun or the earth has moved in such a way that we see the constellation Aries behind it. And so Aries is giving the light to the moon, which is now in your sign. And for me, it seems like Virgo is giving Aries the light. Right? It's almost like Virgo is saying, look, do you see the light? Do you see the light that you're in, my dear Aries? Because sometimes Aries can be quite intense and be entangled in all the things that he is actually thinking in his head. And so Virgo, the simplicity of Virgo is coming and saying, hey, I'm holding the light here up to you so that you can come to me. Very interesting, right? So Aries is ruled by Mars, the fighter, and this is the first house of self. And of course, his body part is the brain, is the mind, and so the only way to access that is the meditation. And here we see how he looks in all four directions and can recognize that it's all in his head, the higher consciousness that he's perceiving. You are ruled by Mercury. Mercury is the messenger, is bringing you, of course, from within the information about what now this combination wants to tell us. And the body part for you is your digestion, and you are the sixth house of health. And so I gave you the mountain pose, both hands in Namaste, and looking into the future and looking into the past in the cosmic egg up on the mountain again. So this is what's playing over your reading. You're getting a right spinning reading. Last time you had the full moon through Pisces Sun. And it was a Tarot Yoga soulbration. Not a inspiration, but a soulbration. And the message was, through all emotional growth emerges a loving Empress. Yeah, the Empress came very strong, and of course it's a left spinning reading, so we go from right to left, which is connected with the wobble the earth, thus to the left around its own axis in 25,800 years. And so we divide it then, of course, through the 12 zodiac signs, and we get an age. So currently go from the age of Pisces, which was in the light for 2,150 years, and you were in the shadow because you were the shadow side of Pisces. But always remember, you have the lantern. And so you've been diligently working in the shadow, in the dark, and supporting Pisces the way you were able to support it. And now the age of Pisces is leaving and we're going into the age of Aquarius. And you understand that because you're holding the star in your lantern, and you are, like you see how I wrote all the information on this card at the beginning when I was learning the tarot. You are the uniting energy of the masculine and the feminine. You are the tantric example of a person that doesn't need anybody any more than just himself and the knowledge that he gains from deep within. Mastery, right? Achieving mastery is something that you really like because you are the month of September. That's where everything is ripe and everything is like, okay, here we have really the expression of nature in its plenty, in its fullness, in its ripeness. So this is going to be speaking to us today. Your court card is the Knight of Pentacles. He's facing the right spinning path, and that's the spin the earth does every 24 hours to the right. And of course, so if I place your major arcana here, you're back on back. One is, it's almost like sometimes you're a little divided, right? You're in a way wanting to go into this world and learn everything and be financially responsible and taking care of the money, because you are really watching the crop growing, and at the same time your higher consciousness wants to go a spiritual path. Now, if I put you here, because here it is the right spinning reading today, right? You can see how he is holding the light up for him and is literally stopping him and is saying, remember that you have a soul, remember that you have a higher path than just looking after the money or looking after the crop, right? So it's very interesting when we place it in the right spinning path, and of course when I do the left spinning path, I place it like this, and you can recognize there is something. It's almost like they part ways now. If your birthday is between August 13 and September 11th, this is your court card. If not, look in the description below. I have listed all the cards that I'm using today, and of course all the court card states. So last time, full moon, and that you have been growing into an Empress, which is the ultimate highest physical form, because the number 3 is the form, is that first form that we can recognize, because the triangle, right? And so it's very interesting that now, back then you had the Empress and now you have the Emperor, the male perspective of that. Good, so let's begin. On the position of the Fool comes the 4 of Pentacles, and that ties in very clearly with the Emperor, the number 4, and the number 4 means take responsibility of your money. Make sure that this square is protected through au bon droit. The one who does right will also always get back the right things. And so here you are, protected. Clearly seeing the responsibility a lot of money has. But 4 is the Sun in Capricorn, and Sun in Capricorn is the social status. And so you're getting from your soul, because this is a state of consciousness from the soul, you get this idea that you want to be socially accepted, which also comes then with the money. The 4, the square, the 4, where here the Emperor is sitting on the throne of the number 4, right? And the 4 is then when we open the square box, we get actually a cross. And so here you are, recognizing that the material plane is something that even your soul is telling you, okay, yes, become responsible in your physical endeavors, in the money, in what you think is maybe really important to you, but also make sure that it's not controlling you, right? That's the one thing that this card is really truly saying. And then on the position of the Magician comes the Hunter, and the Hunter goes directly in this direction while the Bear is looking at these 4, and it's the 27, and the 27 then becomes a 9. So 2 is the High Priestess and 7 is the Chariot, right? Is the success, is you are successful in the hunting when you use your intuition and you're going successfully into nature and wanting to provide for yourself. And this is what the state of consciousness of the Magician brings to you. It's this inspiration to become self-sufficient, to create your own remedies, because you're the healer. You are the alchemist. You are the one that brings oils and remedies and healing from within to the people. And it looks like you are actually wanting to bring more of that into the world. And the hunter is the one that goes into the forest, that goes and learns everything about the natural healing path that we have through the plants. And so I think this is kind of speaking to you on a very spiritual level or a subconscious level, because the magician is someone that is through magic healing others, right? The magician is not just a magician that brings fantastic things into one's life, but it's also a healer. So then the 9 speaks to you, right? So here you are, like this bear looking into the soul path, but the human is coming out of this empowered energy, finding in the human path the path to heal and the path to find plants and also animals and then work with them. On the position of the High Priestess comes Capricorn. And so Sun in Capricorn was speaking with the 4 of Pentacles to you, the social status. And now the Capricornian energy, of course, is always has this negative connotation, right? And that's what the church gave the feminine, the yin. But it's always the big question, what do you prefer, the mountain or the valley? Well, the mountain, when it exists and you like the mountain, the valley naturally comes with it. And the opposite as well. If you don't like mountains and you like only the valley only exists if there's a mountain. So the devil is the black pillar. It's just the fertile ground that we place things, but he's also the keeper here of the gates of matter. And the gates of matter here are, of course, connected with the number 4. And the gates of matter here, the Emperor sits also on the 4, the number 4. So you have actually an invitation to overcome and to liberate yourself, because that social status, this climbing up, this financial stability that you are seeking is now speaking to you and letting you know, just don't get attached to it, right? That's the only thing that I want to take out as an essence. It's okay to climb the social status. It's okay to be financially successful and being the center of attention, because social status brings that with it. But don't get attached. Don't become this weird looking personality that is stuck in this dimension. Use your third eye. Use your horns, use your hair, use your horns while you're hunting, and even use your wings and liberate yourself completely from such attachments. And that's what the High Priestess is saying. Don't get attached. That's the only thing that is negative, that we get attached, and out of that becomes an obsession. And out of obsession, we know sometimes negative things come out of it. And then on the position of the Empress comes Le Jugement. These are French cards, and it's the Last Judgment, or the Aeon by Aleister Crowley. And the Aeon is the new zeitgeist, right? It's the new age, and it's calling you to completely renew yourself and to come out of the dark, come out of this attachment and liberate yourself and go into a higher consciousness. And it's like the Empress is bringing that to you. The Empress is the one that is saying, bring this 3 that is like a downward pointing 3, which is always the feminine, right? And so they created out of the feminine something negative, but it's just yin, and the yin is attached to the yang, and so we cannot just say, oh, this is bad. It's not. People in the light, they also do bad things. So just recognize that there is a deep, deep call for renewal. There is the cross. The cross is connected with the 4, right? Because in the center of the cross, we have the matter, the spirit, the time and space. And in the center is that where we are centered. And so the calling is upon you, and you have 12 rays of the sun, which is always the 12 zodiac signs. And then we have these 2 people watching this new manifestation. And this is what the first form, it's almost like there's a birth, there's a new child, there's a new consciousness wanting to come to you. And this is where when we look in a baby's eyes, we're like mesmerized how pure, how beautiful they are, how innocent, and they're just, right, they're just there. And this is what this card is saying. It's the number 20, right? And so there is a 2 here in the hunter, and it's saying, yeah, just recognize what it is that you use as an intuition, and now you go to the next level with your intuition. And of course then the 6 out of the 15, right, there is again on the position of the magician, the hunting. Hunting for what? Hunting for survival, hunting for spiritual energies, right? And then the 5 senses, that's where we sometimes then stuck. We get stuck because of the attachment again, and then calculated together. It's a 6, and the 6 is always that deep self-love, the 2 triangles, the hexagram, and in there we find a total liberation in the 3rd eye, right, in the 6th chakra. Then comes on the position of the Emperor, you, right? And so the Emperor is literally pushing you through the 4 of Pentacles, which is the Sun in Capricorn, and you got Capricorn here, right? Sun in Capricorn. It's almost like Capricorn is pushing your intuition, is pushing you to stay connected with what comes forth from deep within. And so here you give birth to yourself. The sun is highlighting you, and so you see how this hermit is holding the light, almost like he's now stretching out the arm a little further, and he's like, wow, look at that, look what's happening here. You are born new. You are a new energy. And you can see how the beautiful star, the hexagram, is in here. And it's almost like this little star, that's the 6 here, right? If you are reaching the 3rd eye, if you are doing your meditation, if you are doing your inner work, you can see what's happening with you. The transformation and the enlightenment comes to you in a very profound way. And you giving birth to yourself. You're taking responsibility for yourself, for your soul. And this is what is coming through here. On the position of the Knight of Pentacles, Salvador Dali, comes the 8 of Swords. And the 8 of Swords is speaking about an attachment, speaking about being in your own prison, mental prison, by thinking about things unnecessarily, because the 8 is that infinite loop. The 8 is here above the magician, and that infinite loop of constant thinking, which is Jupiter in Gemini. So I think you're gonna, not the next reading, but the second next reading, gonna have a moment through Sun in Gemini, where Gemini is an air sign, is gonna really push your buttons, and you're gonna have to awaken to the power that, yes, the mind can go in many different ways, right? And going almost into an isolation kind of state where you are too much with yourself, thinking about the problems about this world, and getting sucked into this situation, and it's really important that you are recognizing the power lies deep within you to overcome that. And so the interesting thing here in this card, right, this is Salvador Dali. It's speaking here about expanded consciousness. Spiritual life connects heaven and earth. All conscious thought and knowledge has a spiritual dimension that helps us to recognize our own limitations and sense a reality that is much greater than ourselves. The central figure in this picture is hidden by a butterfly, but her pose suggests that she is holding a child in her arms. Children symbolize everything that goes beyond our earthly existence, our offspring and our metaphorical spiritual children, representing new truth and realities. And I spoke about the child. I spoke about this moment here where you recognize, oh my God, this is just, there is something shifting within you. There is something that wants to tell you, become new, become an angel, become a child. Beyond the boundaries of the ego lies eternal life, which is represented by the heavenly city above the figure. In this instance, eternity is but another term for purposefully lived uniqueness. This card is about saying farewell to castles in the sky and childish inhibitions. Free yourself from all dependencies. The city or castle in the background symbolizes parental powers. Parents can influence you even from afar in a kind of remote control operating through the air element of the mind. Wow. Come into contact with your own emotional basis, with your own inner child, and with all that you want to contribute to the world. In many situations, this card should encourage you to withdraw for a while. Retreat or hide in a self-made cocoon like a caterpillar in order to get in touch with yourself and to generate new and original thoughts. Become the master of your life and the center of your world. Always remain in harmony with yourself. You will become comfortable and relaxed in everyday life when you establish your own way of thinking, acting, and desiring. Clear, right? So, then on the position of the Hermit, comes Temperance. The number 14, 1, again the hunter, the magician position comes, take care of your life, go for the self-sufficiency. And the 4, right, again the 4, know that you have everything you need. So why you need to climb more up the social status? Is that really something that you want, or is it because there is maybe a Capricorn pushing you to go there, right? Because, I mean, the Capricorn is here. At the same time, you're called to be self-sufficient. You're called to renew yourself. You're called to go deeply inwards so that you can recognize that something here is holding you prison, certain thoughts. Calculated together is then the 5. And the 5 again is the 5 senses, are the tests, are the physical tests, but also the communication in the chakra system. And so there is a 5 through the 15 in the devil. And so maybe now you get the angel counterbalancing here this energy, and you know deep down that you are an angel with red wings. So maybe even an angel has 2 sides to it. We all have 2 sides because 2 sides help us to choose. And so Temperance, I just want to give you the main idea of this card. It's a very beautiful picture, and it's the card right before the devil, right? So we have 15, 14, and so Temperance says true will. Practical advice, I'm not going to read the whole thing. Existing facts may be melted down and newly forged. Joyfully change the world and begin to play with new possibilities. Establish your own creativity workshop in your daily life and find a time and place to take a break and tarry a while on a regular basis. So really, this image differs from all the others in Dali's tarot deck. The colors are relatively pale, creating a somewhat overexposed impression. The image is more like a sketch than a finished painting, and it also seems to be less artful than the others. All these features have given rise to considerable speculation. Rachel Pollack has called the picture a crude comic. Others consider it to be a rather awkward homage to Dali's lady friend Amanda Lear, while still others simply suspect that Dali didn't know what to do with a card called Temperance. Yeah, so I think you get the idea. So even a big artist might not know what to do with Temperance, because Temperance means to be in your center, to be in your balance. And you getting the balance, the devil and the angel. And so somehow I think you're trapped in that thought of somehow you have some devilish thoughts, but you also know that you have another side and that you have that angel that has called you, and now you want to be an angel and you want to go out there into this world and be of significance, right? And that social status climb, yes, it is there, and it is connected with Capricorn. It is connected with the devil. But you are a hunter, you are self-sufficient, right? And yes, you do want to be in the social status climbing up. And at the same time, you want to be spiritually completely a new person. So here you are, holding the star away. It's almost like you're saying, oh my God, what am I going to do with this? Now comes a new age. Now what I'm going to do? I was in the dark and now I'm holding the star in my lantern. I'm holding the new age in my lantern. What am I going to do with this? Ooh, then all these thoughts come, right? And then, okay, I'm going to mix the devil, red wings, and the white. It's almost like it's like you're creating something completely new. Like it said, withdraw, go within, and become unique, and show the world that both is possible. And then comes on the position of the moon, which is an oracle card, radical acceptance, the longing to be truly you, the longing to have now the 2-2 portal. 2 times 2 is creativity in creativity, or creativity in sexuality. Sexual creativity, right? We can change it. So listen to your heart, listen to your intuition, accept the beloved, accept that radical acceptance, because then you become really one. You have red wings and you have white hair, and you're like, okay, now I'm going to go out there and do crazy things, be me. And then on the position of the sun comes here the magic, the healing, the alchemy, the number 43, a 7. And the 7 is in the hunter. You already had the 2 and the 7. So this is almost like above this, the magic to find truly your heart and to find truly the healing in your hands, because your hands are through the holding the lantern and holding the wand, connected with that healing power, right? And so we know on the position of the moon came this card. It's almost like this is part of a wing here. And now we see the wing in the 2 sides. Here we see it from the side, and now we see it. It's a heart when we look behind. And it's a red heart that is giving you these fiery rings, which is then, of course, also connected with the Capricorn energy. Very powerful. I mean, this reading is really like, it's getting to me. And then, of course, on the position of the Sun, right, where there is Aries, came you. And then you use your hands. You don't need to use this anymore and this anymore. It's almost like you are called to really use your healing hands and to do whatever it is that you want to do, because you will create new things, unique things, because you united this. And together, right, when we see them next to each other, then you see how they actually look at each other. And it's almost like he's saying, who are you? What kind of creature are you? Like Dali. It's like, what I'm going to paint here? Temperance. Oh my God, temperance. It's like, it's adventurous at the same time. It's an angel. It's everything. It's combining, like I said, the devil, right? That negativity that the church created, but also that angelic, and it's bringing it all together, and that we can recognize here in the two hands. You have the right hand and you have the left hand. And this is where this is coming in, right? The Namaste is like, okay, I am uniting the things. And then I create magic. And you are already creating magic with your concoctions and with your healing and with your natural remedies that you're finding in the forest. And you can create a stable income with that, right? So it's almost saying that. And then comes, or did come, on the position of the world. I'm going to put this down because there are two that came up. Comes here Sagittarius and the Four of Pentacles again. In Sagittarius, you had Temperance. Right now you have the Knight of Wands saying, go, create crazy things, go, and don't sit and wait, but now go, take action, go for it, do the things that you want to do. And then you see here the Four of Pentacles in a whole new perspective, because this is the 15th century. This is the Visconti Sforza Tarot. And now look at that. If I put it here, she's literally holding them and she's like sensuously saying, yes, I have everything I need. And just this big flower above her. And then you're creating here like a life of like craziness, a life of wildness, a life of plenty, of responsibility at the same time, but also because of the infinite 8 in here, right? But also of knowing that you are here to use Sagittarius. And Sagittarius is that wild one, and you have the wings, and you have the beloved, and you have to come out, and you have to use your hands. And so you just make your life the way you want it, because you have 2 times the 4, and that is an 8. So then you have Sun in Virgo, right? That's what the 8 of Pentacles is Sun in Virgo. And so combine the old with the new, combine the dark with the light, combine whatever it is that you can combine, because you have a 9 portal here as well with these two. You are giving him the light and saying, yes, go for it. Go whatever it is that you want to do. I mean, I'm really like recognizing something very powerful here. And then, of course, Sagittarius is the philosopher, right? Is that have fun as well, excitement. And of course, here comes again Sun in Capricorn. And Sun in Capricorn, right? Remember that there is this wild and devilish side within you. And so you are looking over to the Four of Pentacles, holding the Four of Pentacles, but everything is just the way it's supposed to be, in the way you are going right now, in the way you are evolving, in the way you are awakening, in the way you are handling the two energies, because the world needs this now. The world needs new endeavors, needs new creativity, and needs, right, radical acceptance of both the negative and the positive, right? Total acceptance, radical acceptance, and someone needs to handle, right, with the hands, and that is you. Wow. I hope I see you in the next reading, because then the earth turns in such a way that we see behind the sun the constellation Taurus, which is the number 5. And you have also a 5 here in the devil. So I think that is gonna push you to see a little further what you can do with the 5, right? The 5, the Hierophant, with what the church has pushed to believe, and now you're creating a whole new image out of that. You are going to be a wild one. You're going to be shifting between dark and light, devilish and angel, and that's what I think the earth needs right now. Until then, I thank you so much for being with me. Namaste.